Good morning, guys. It's Saturday, the 27th of February 2021. Welcome back to Holmes Allotment. Thanks for your visit and popping along to get the updates. Again, massive thank you to all the subscribers, all the likes, comments, thumbs up, thumbs downs. Really do appreciate it, guys. We're up to 360 subscribers now, and that's really good. So I'm going to give you a bit of an update. So Friday, being yesterday, I didn't do anything at all. As you know, I went for my COVID vaccine at 9 AM in the morning. So we had the vaccine. Everything was very well organised, guys. It really was. It was like a one-way system right round the building and back out. You have to sit for 15 minutes after you've had the injection just to see if you're going to have a reaction to the drug. As yet, no one ever has. So that's good, but you still have to sit the 15 minutes just to make sure that you're not going to have a bad reaction to the injection. Now, for anybody who's thinking, oh, I'm not sure about getting the vaccine, let me assure you, I didn't even feel the needle going in, guys. That's how seamless it was. It really was. I was talking to the doctor. The nurse was standing here, had my sleeve rolled up, and I was talking away to the doctor, and she says, right, and I said, yeah, okay then. Turning around to say, yeah, go on. And she says, no, I've done it. I didn't even feel that needle going in, guys. Unbelievable. Now then, you probably want to know, are there any side effects? And yes, there can be. And this is confirmed by the doctors when I spoke with them. So you can end up with a bad head, and you can end up with flu-like symptoms. Feeling drained, no energy, muscle ache, bone ache, all the rest of it. Excuse me. Now, I didn't do anything at all yesterday, but it wasn't because of the injection. As you know, on the Thursday I'd been up on that rooftop and I'd flogged on all day doing that roof and re-roofing that shed, and I was absolutely exhausted by the end of the day, as you've seen in the end of the video. What's more, on the Friday I got up and I was aching from head to foot all over, but this was before I had the vaccine, guys. After the vaccination I went home. I had some breakfast and I was in bed by 11:30 in the morning, even though it was a fine day. I was no good for nothing, but it wasn't because of the vaccine. I hadn't been sleeping too well for the last few days either, and I feel like I just needed to catch up on some sleep. So I went to bed about 11:30 AM in the morning, and I was out like a light, and I knew nothing until 2:30 in the afternoon. But when I got up, I felt absolutely great. But I had this stonking bad head. A couple of paracetamols and that cleared up. Then it came back a bit later. Took another couple of paracetamols and that cleared up. Now, I've got a bit of a bad head still this morning. But that's about the only side effect I've had of the vaccination. And I haven't taken any tablets this morning because I only take them if it gets really bad. So I haven't taken any tablets this morning. I've just came up the allotment. To see if we can get a little bit more done, but I won't be killing myself today because basically I'm still not 100% from the Thursday of doing the shed roof. So we came up today, yesterday, so from 2:30 when I got back up, I had some lunch, and then I just sat and watched YouTube videos right till bedtime and went to bed about 10 PM. But in that time I got a phone call from the guy who I'd bought the satinets from and the blondie nets. And he says, I've got some spare female hen pigeons if you're interested. And I said, oh yeah, I'm short on the females on the full stencils. And he says, well, I've got 3 there if you'd like them. I am purchasing them, of course. And I said, yeah, I says, if they're surplus and you've got them, yes, I'll definitely take them if they're females. So today we're going to collect those, social distance. He'll open his boot of his car with the birds in. I'll go and collect them and put them into my boot of my car. Then I'll pass him an envelope with the money in, and I'll leave it in his boot, and that's it. All be doing distancing. Now, even though I've had my vaccine, guys, we can't mess this up. I'm still wearing my gloves, I'm still sanitising my hands, and I'm still wearing a mask whenever I'm not at this allotment or in the house. So it doesn't stop you getting COVID. it lessens the chance that if you get COVID, you'll probably survive, or rather, it maximises the chances of you surviving if you do get it. And of course, I haven't had the second jab yet, which will be in about 6 weeks' time. Now, I had the Pfizer vaccine, and I think the next one, I think they mix and match, and I don't know, but I might get the Pfizer again next time, or I might get the AstraZeneca. Either way, all I can tell you guys, if you're even in any doubt whatsoever about getting this vaccine, go and get it. Go and get the vaccine. Seriously, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. It really isn't. 20 million people now have had the vaccine. If it was anything to worry about, 20 million people would be in serious trouble. Right, that's that out of the way. So today, I'm having this cup of coffee. I'm probably going to go and clean out that other shed where they've got the broken roof on the aviary. And as you know, I have the blondie neck cock and the two blondinets and a satinet cock. Two that was in the stock loft that got ousted out of the box, and the other one that I purchased a while back off this same guy. So I have 3 frill stencil cockbirds there that I was wondering what I was going to do, put to them. But now I'm getting 3 hens, as it just happens he's got 3 spare. So those 3 hens will go to those. Now I'll probably end up putting 3 pairs of pigeons in there, or a pair of fantails and a couple of pairs of pigeons as feeders to take their eggs and rear those, and the blondinets and satinets can rear the youngsters off there, so they can all go through the breeding cycle together, guys, because they can't rear their own youngsters. So I've babbled on long enough. I'm going to have this cup of coffee, and then I better get something done. We'll see you later, guys. Just a quick update in the pigeon loft, guys. As you can see, everything's all nicely settled down now. Most of the females are sitting in the boxes, including the brown barless. This hen was sitting in the box when I came in. That's the Andalusian hen with the frill stencil. The black hen is sitting her 2 eggs. As I said, we're going to leave those for 7 days, guys, just on the off chance that they are full. If they're not, we'll throw them away after 7 days and they'll go through the cycle again. Check hen also in a box, and the 2 milky split for barless. The hen was in the box when I came in. Our blondinette and satinette. She's sitting on the nest. This brown satinette was sitting in the box. She's paired to this cock here. This toy stencil Lebanon. Here's a pair out in the aviary, sneaking out to mate. We've got our almond hen and our brown spread cock. Next to that we have the indigo bar hen and the white bar oval cock. And as you can see, our almond cock, carrying brown, is settled with his check hen. So all's good in here, guys. Real peace and quiet, and this is a lovely time. See you later, guys. Right, guys, so we've just came in this other loft now, the one with the broken sheet on the aviary, and we've just cleaned all this out. Sorry, the light's not too good in here for some reason today. We've got it all cleaned out and all boxed off, ready to put the frill stencils in here, and 3 other pairs, whatever we decide we're going to use. So that's a good jobbed, all sorted out. And I've also been and collected, it turned out there was 4 pigeons. So it would have been rude not to take the 4th one, wouldn't it? So we've now got 4 hens, 4 female pigeons. So they're just in the basket at the moment while I decide where I'm going to actually put them. I don't know whether to put them in a spare section on their own or whether to put them down with the hens, although I don't like mixing pigeons when they first came. So these are the 4 birds here, guys. So we've got a nice blue laced frill stencil, and this time we've got some barred ones. We've got a blue barred frill stencil, you see the spot in the tail, and then we have another blue barred frill stencil, and then we have a brown barred frill stencil. So that's another 4 frill stencils, guys. I might even, so that means I've got 5 hens now, so we might use the 3 cocks, and we might pair some of our race birds to the other 2 hens. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to go and grab a bite to eat now and a cup of coffee, and then we'll give you a catch up in the shed while I decide where I'm going to put these. Right, guys, I'm back in the shed again. So yeah, delighted. It turns out when he'd sorted through his breeding stock, he had 4 surplus hens. Now I just want to clear up here, when I went to collect these birds, I parked 4 or 5 houses away from where the birds were. I rang him on the telephone. He came and stood on his step, pressed the button on his car and opened the boot of the car, and he said, just get the birds out and leave the money in the boot. So I went and got the so I sanitised my hands, because I had a bottle of sanitizer with me in the car all the time. Sanitised my hands, went and got the birds and transferred them into my basket. Sanitised my hands again, and I even sanitised the money and put the money in his car. Closed the boot. He locked his car, and he'll collect the money when he's good and ready. So just to let you know, guys, we didn't even speak to each other really. Well, we shouted across the distance from his house. So we didn't even interact in any way, shape or form, guys. Now, I've just had a nice solid sandwich and a sausage roll for my lunch, and I'm just having a cup of coffee to wash it down with. Whilst I've been sitting here having my lunch, I was having a bit of a thought. Now, some of you may, who've been subscribed a while, know that I bred some toy stencil and frill stencil pigeons last year off the Andalusian hen with the toy stencil white bar cock, and off that black hen with the toy stencil white check cock. And out of the 6 youngsters, we got 2 toy stencil, which will probably be carrying frill as well, black white bars, and we got a frill stencil blue white bar, and we got a frill stencil Andalusian white bar, and the other 2 were blacks, but of course they're F2s because they were paired to it was a toy stencil cock with a frill stencil split F1. So these are all F2 birds. There's 6 of them. I went in the loft there to have a sort through, see how they're coming on, and they're maturing very nicely. But I'm rather disappointed. It looks like all 6 are cock birds. So it does appear that it's a bit difficult to breed hens in the frill stencils. So that's a double whammy, we're getting those frill stencil hens just now. We might need to use those to cross in to other breeds to try and get some frill stencil in hens and then improve the birds as we go along. Like I said right at the start, the frill stencil project is a long, arduous journey. It really is, to try and get to where I want to be and getting them to look like race type pigeons but with frill stencil, toy stencil. It's going to be a long haul, guys. But more importantly, I do like, I'm getting really attached to the oriental frills, the little the satinettes and the blondinettes. They're really lovely birds, and they're very pretty in their own right, in their own breed, and I'm looking forward to breeding some youngsters off them. I really am. They're really pretty, and the fact I've got them in the frill stencil gene is just a massive bonus. But what I'm actually thinking is, as getting back to the original story, is that I've got these, what appears to be 6 cocks out of the late breds. I'm toying with the idea of using a couple of those to these frill stencils, especially the visual ones, they're F2s. And I'm really toying with the idea of using those Lebanon crossed racing pigeon first cross and trying those, 2 of those, with these frill stencil oriental owls. Oriental frills. Now, I've got those 4. There was an extra one that I didn't know he had, and he didn't know he had until he sorted through them. But I also still have the little brown satinette hen, the younger one, which was a late bred last year, in with the hens at the moment. So I was always going to use her to one of these blondinette cocks. But now I've got 5 hens and I want 6 pairs in that loft. I've now got options now of potentially using the frill stencil birds I already have straight to frill stencils birds. Now obviously the youngsters are going to come out looking nothing like what I want, but they should all be frill stencil. That's the goal, and potentially look something like what I want, but they can then be used to cross to the race birds as we get more of them to improve the birds. So yes, we're going to have a few odd looking pigeons to start with, but we need those to continue the project. So I'm going to have this cup of coffee, and then I'm going to mull it over and decide what I'm going to do with that cleaned out loft that we've got now, guys. See you later. Right guys, we decided that the frill stencils, 4 hens that we've just got, are going to stay in this great big loft here. I've cleared the rubbish out of here, the paint and everything that I was eventually going to get it painted out, but this loft's bone dry, so we've decided we're going to leave them in here on their own, and we'll leave them in here for a week or 2 till the cocks settle in that other shed and get themselves a box. Let them pick a box out and get themselves settled, and then we'll introduce these hens. So for now, they've got this entire shed to themselves, those 4 birds. And we've been busy this afternoon as well. We've now got this other shed, all plastic coated on the sides. I ran out of buttons. I actually need another button down that back there. I need a couple actually. So yeah, I run out of laths, but we've managed to get the front on and the 2 sides. That side's finished off. That side's finished off. I just want a couple more buttons down there. And we've got a new plastic, well, we used one of those with the holes in, and we cut that plastic sheet down, and we've got that on top of there now. So I'm going for a cup of coffee, and then basically, so I just need to get it, it's stapled, but I just need to get another button down there, and another button down here. And of course this is our lift up door. The other thing is this plastic will actually serve to protect the locks that's under here as well, guys, and keep the rain off the locks as well. So yeah, good job jobbed. We're obviously not buttoning down here, or we could for now, but this will basically just roll up again in summer when we need it, and then back down again for winter. When I was cleaning this loft out, it was quite apparent just how much wind is actually howling through there. And I thought, you know something, it maybe is a bit cold. However, pigeons don't really feel the cold, to be honest with you guys. And we are from the inside of this shed. All plastic coated now, but there's a lovely draft coming up here. But it's not that gale force wind now, it's just a nice airflow coming up here. And likewise on the bottom of this shed, guys, we have a grill down here at floor level as well, which keeps the floor dry as well. So we're all ready to go in here for 6 pairs. Now obviously they're going to be a fortnight behind the others, We need to get 6 cocks picked out and come in here now. We know 3 of them are going to be the frill stencil blondinets, satinets. And then we'll decide. I have a pencil blue cock that race for me. He's a nice type, and I've never took a young enough him yet, but I think I maybe will pair him to something this year. I might put him to one of those. Actually, he's paired to a brown hen, and I need some browns. Although this is a brown hen, there'd be brown cocks. So yeah, I don't know. He's actually paired himself up to that brown hen, the one that wouldn't pair to the almond. Anyways, guys, I'm babbling on again. So just to give you a quick look at what we've done, bit more progress. I haven't exactly killed myself, but it's still taking a full day. We're on 10 to 4 now, and I'm going for a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to start and put the cocks in here, ready to start settling down. Right guys, we put the birds in now. So we've got one of the young frill stencil, toy stencils that we bred last year, blacks. We put that in here. They are still young, but they're probably old enough for breeding, but they're still going through the moult. Another blondinet. That was the one that we bought last. And then we've got another white barred black frill stroke toy stencil in the top there. Then we've got another satinette, blue lace, and a blondinette there. And the last one we brought into the equation is the frill stencil blue that we bred. As I said, these are late breds, guys, and they're still pretty young, but we'll get them in here and let them start and find themselves a box, and then let them settle down for a fortnight or so. These cocks are actually showing 2 hens in the other loft, so they're old enough to breed. Right guys, I decided to put the cocks into that shed before I came in for a cup of coffee, because I knew once I sat down that would be it. So yeah, although I said I wasn't going to kill myself today, I haven't really killed myself, but I've got another couple of good jobs jobbed. Those 2 satinets that got turfed out of the nest boxes, which set me back with the frill stencils basically, which was rather annoying. I thought, it's another dry day, another fine day. Even if I just get that loft cleaned out, and then I fully intended to put that sheet back on the aviary, cut off a decent piece out of that, one of those plastic sheets that came off the 24-foot loft on Thursday. Luckily, where the hole was, I managed to just get that 4-foot span for the aviary just and so cut off and cut the bad bit out of that. So yeah, we managed to get a 4-foot piece on top of that aviary and get that fixed. And then once I'd done that, I thought, well, do you know what, it's fine, let's get the plastic out and we'll make a start. Before I knew where I was at, I had finished, it was only because I run out of buttons. I need 2 more buttons to go down the side of that, but it's stapled down into place, so it's not going anywhere if the wind should get up or the weather turn for the worse. So once I got that done, as well as getting them cleaned out and going and getting the other birds and getting them put into the loft, we'll give them 2 weeks, like sort of quarantine, as you will, in their own loft, separate from all the other birds, just to make sure they're perfectly healthy. But you know, you never know. They'll have a fortnight in there, while those cocks that are now moved into there, I thought, well, let's just do it all in one day. So the hens are in there, and they'll settle in there, and they'll be in there for a fortnight. Sort of quarantine. And whilst they're in their quarantine, I thought, we'll get those 6 cocks, they're all new into that shed. None of them have been in that shed before, so there shouldn't be too much squabbling. They'll get themselves a box, and eventually there'll be a pecking order, and they will sort out which box they like best. But then once there's sort of 6 boxes and 6 birds, once they've got the box, they should just stick to it. And then it should just be a matter of introducing those hens. So, as you see, I put the blue frill stencil that I bred, lead bred, and I put 2 of the black white bad frill stencils. Now I say that because, looking at them now, they're going through the moult. If I open the wing up, I can see white starting to go up the flights. And if I open the tail, I can see white starting to go down the tail as well. So potentially after they've got the first full moult, they could end up spot-tailed as well. But, So the two black white bars, the father is toy stencil, but the mother is F1 for frill stencil that came out of the frill stencil cock. So potentially they're carrying a mix of both frill and toy. And if they're paired to frill, then should get more frill than toy, or toys carrying frill, and vice versa. So I decided we're going to use them cocks anyways, because they're nice pigeons. They've turned out all right. They were crossed to racing pigeons, or Lebanon racing pigeon cross. So the size has come down definitely on one of the cocks. One of them's still a little bit on the large size, but we've already got one down to just slightly bigger than a racing pigeon, and it looks racing pigeony type. So it's a good start on that one. As does the frill stencil. It's a little bit on the large side, but when we pair them to these little satinets, that should bring the size down, but improve the beak on the satinets as well. But my theory is that we will get all frill stencil or toy stencil out of the cross ones. So we're going to get a mix, hopefully, of satinets with satinets and blondinets with satinets, and then we're also going to get a mix of the Lebanon type with the satinets. And whatever comes out, they should, in theory, all be frill stencil or 99%. So that's the goal with that one, guys. I am absolutely exhausted again, even though I haven't really pushed myself today. I don't think I've fully recovered from Thursday, to be perfectly honest with you. The bad head's gone, and I've no other side effects of the vaccine, so I know it's not that. I've done a lot this week, in spite of having 2 days off with the rain. Thursday's really knocked the puddings out of me. And then today I felt like I was going to break eggs with sticks again as usual. And I've done that a little bit, and I've put myself back to where I started. So tomorrow I'm thinking I'm just going to come up and water the birds, irrespective of whether the sun's split the trees or not. And I'm probably just going to come up and feed and water everything, top all the corn bins up in the water barrels. And I'm probably going to go down home and just chill out tomorrow before I go back to work on Monday. For now, guys, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be practical, and keep yourselves out of harm's way. We'll see you in the next video, guys, and thanks for watching.